You are listening to the Evolve Your Intimacy podcast with Dr. Stephanie, where it is my goal to educate, enlighten, and evolve your intimacy. You can find me at evolveyourintimacy.com to learn more about counseling, self-study courses, sex, and the retreats that we have to offer. This show contains discussions about relationships, intimacy, and sex, and is meant for those who are 18 years and older. Now, sit back, relax, listen up, and get ready to evolve your intimacy. Good day, my fine people. Fine as in sexy ass bitches listening in today. I am Dr. Stephanie, and I am a clinical sexologist and licensed professional counselor with Evolve Your Intimacy. Have you wanted to go on a lifestyle cruise, but you're struggling with the unknown? I get so many questions regarding lifestyle cruises, or I have people tell me all these rumors that they've heard about lifestyle cruises, and so that's keeping them from going on them. I want to set the record straight. So today, I'm interviewing two very different, beautiful ladies who were on the Bliss Cruise with me in April for the first time. Not only was this their first Bliss Cruise, but this was also their first time cruising at all. Our first guest describes herself as 30 and flirty. She joined the Topless Travel team as a hostess for the April cruise. However, she had never attended a lifestyle event before or even been on a cruise. Her name is Bree, and Bree traveled as a single lady with a close friend who just invited her on the cruise last minute, and she's going to share with us her experiences as a first-time cruiser, first-time lifestyler, and first-time hostess on the Bliss Cruise. My second guest for the show was also a first-time cruiser and a newbie to the Bliss Cruise. Sarah and her husband Carlos are a monogamous couple who like to watch and be watched by others. Each guest today is going to provide a different point of view for the same cruise and give you insight into what you can expect and how to prepare for your trip of a lifetime. Before we bring on 30 and flirty Bree to talk about her adventures as a newbie on the Bliss Cruise, we need to take a quick commercial break to hear from our sponsors. Stay tuned. Are you in an ethical non-monogamous relationship and enjoy giving oral sex? When you go and get a comprehensive STD test, when you go to your doctor and receive a comprehensive STD test, do you get your throat swabbed? Did you know that you can get gonorrhea and chlamydia in your throat? And those bacterial infections can spread quickly and are often asymptomatic when in the throat. I'm excited to partner with Shameless Care, a lifestyle healthcare company that understands our specific needs. They understand how people connect and play and can get you with doctors who understand as well. There are no telehealth companies that allow for inexpensive throat swab tests for gonorrhea and chlamydia, even though most people in our lifestyle don't use protection when we have and give oral sex. Shameless Care offers all testing that is relevant to our lifestyle when you need it and at affordable prices. So go to shamelesscare.com and subscribe to receive your customized STD test directly to your door. Your test arrives in discreet packaging and comes with a prepaid label for easy return. You can receive your results by text message or by logging in to their HIPAA-compliant patient portal. Use promo code EYI at checkout to receive $30 off your first order. Subscribe today and receive your discreet test delivered directly to your door every 3 months to ensure your sexual health is always ready for those exciting lifestyle experiences. Again, go to shamelesscare.com, use the promo code EYI at checkout, and receive your $30 off your first order. Your sexual health matters, and Shameless Care understands the importance of making sure you are safe. Thank you so much for joining me today. This is the Evolve Your Intimacy podcast, and I am licensed professional counselor and clinical sexologist, Dr. Stephanie, and we are talking to newbies today about their experience on the Bliss Cruise. I had the privilege of meeting our first guest while we were on the cruise, and beautiful young woman was walking around with a dildo interviewing people, and I just happened to be interviewed by her. We're going to play that interview in just a little bit on the show so you can hear some of that. It's kind of funny. I absolutely loved it, but I found out afterwards that this was her first time on the Bliss Cruise, and I had to have her on because she's just so vivacious and so much energy. And she was just kind of jumped into the the whole feeling of it and started interviewing people. So yeah. So Bree, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
So this was your first time on Bliss Cruise.
This was not only my first Bliss Cruise, it was my first ever cruise and my first ever lifestyle event or sex party or anything like that at all.
So how in the hell did you end up in this amazing environment? Like, what happened? Talk to me about who invited you. Where? Wow, I didn't know all of that.
Yeah, great question. So I actually, over the last decade of my life, I've been going to festivals and regional Burning Man events, which are basically small gatherings of people who are very sex positive, very open. It's an art space. It's a collaborative community. So it's very much in line with the lifestyle. It's just not so much focused on it's not exclusively married couples and things like that. So it's a little different in other ways, but there are an overlap for sure. So in February, I met a wonderful woman named Lillian, who I described her as the head mistress of the Florida lifestyle community. And after getting to know her more, that couldn't have been a more accurate description. In fact, she considers herself one of the first people. She's 62, and so she considers herself one of the first people swinging historically, for decades and decades. So essentially, I met her at Loveburn. We canoodled in intimate capacities together, and we stayed in touch. And then afterwards, she basically gave me 2 weeks notice and was like, I am going on this cruise. My roommate just bailed. There's an opening. We just need you to work 3 hours a day. It would be all expenses paid. All you need to do is fly there. And so I just did it. I jumped on the opportunity, and I couldn't be more glad that I did.
So working, what did that mean? What does she mean by working?
So I was a hostess for Topless Travel. Topless Travel is this amazing company who is basically travel agents for the Bliss Cruise. They help with booking. They have incredible customer service. They have hostesses, which was my job. And our job is essentially to be the face of a communicator liaison between the cruise attendees and any information that they need, any help that they need, questions, etc. It was essentially our job to just sit in the dining room and approach people, ask how their cruise is going, make sure they have everything that they need, and help people have a great time so that they feel compelled to book future cruises, especially through our amazing company, Topless Travel. So.
Absolutely. And I do want to point out there are several amazing companies, travel agents that are on this ship. So, if you're listening, there are different travel agents that specialize in different things, different populations. Topless Travel is one that I travel with frequently. I am a big fan of them. I have been to Hito with them. I've been on the Bliss Cruise with them. I've been to Mexico with them, Vegas with Party Mark, you name it. I've been there with Topless Travel. So, but there are a lot of different great travel agents that are on the ship as well. Topless Travel just happened to be the one that you're working with, and just happened to be the one that I stumbled upon many years ago when I was starting my journey into podcasting and all of that fun stuff. So a hostess, now you're extremely gorgeous. Do they just make sure that all of the hostesses are gorgeous? Because personally, I know that all of the hostesses and hosts on the ship are fucking gorgeous. Y'all are unbelievably sexy.
Thank you so much for saying that. I feel they didn't even really know what I looked like when I was hired. They just trusted because I knew Lillian, and Lillian is amazing. She's a former bodybuilder and a former firefighter. She is divine feminine embodied. So for me to resonate with her, I feel like they inherently trusted that it was a good fit for what they're doing without even seeing me in person. And I think that everybody that works there, like you said, is good looking, but that's not the intention. I feel like we just bring a very positive energy that really shines through our physical faces. So,
and I agree with that as well. The owner of Topless Travel, Joe, he has a knack for picking fun-loving, amazing people for traveling with Bliss Cruise, Topless Travel, and all of that fun stuff. So let me ask you this. You had never experienced swinging, alternative relationships, right? And so
I do have experience in non-monogamy.
Okay.
I would consider myself a non-monogamous person. I don't subscribe to the relationship escalator of like dating, engagement, marriage, kids. Like that's sort of I believe in loving multiple people at once, and I have operated that way for the past few years, but never have I put myself in a space that fully embodies that so completely as what I experienced on the cruise.
I love that you just said relationship escalator. Just want you to know I am a huge fan of Amy. She's written the book that kind of, it's called Stepping Off the Relationship Escalator, the Uncommon, Uncommon Love in Life. Amazing book. So I'm not sure if you've read that, but if you have, that's a great term to use. And you're right. We do try to escalate our relationships, but in the lifestyle, we just kind of love everybody or feel love towards everybody. And that's the beauty of it. So you already had that mentality coming into this. So you get on the Bliss Cruise. Now, what were your initial thoughts walking onto the ship?
I was very timid, to be honest. The first few days, I was feeling a little, not going to lie, nervous. However, nervous is also and excitement are two sides of the same coin.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm fluctuating between nervousness and excitement for what I was going to experience. So I'm not going to lie, the first day on the ship, I had actually started my period or my moon cycle. So I was very much like low energy, a little tired, a little uncomfortable. And it took me a few days to really get settled in. And just to elaborate on that a little bit further, I feel like the first few days I very much was more introverted and just sort of absorbed everything like a sponge. And then I spent the second half of the cruise just wringing out that sponge in like a juicy, more confident, sexy, queer version of myself. So
I love that. I, too, brought on a newbie. My assistant was very new. She had not part of the lifestyle. She's works with me in our office legitimately, like she's my assistant or she's my intern. And so I get to train her and work with her as well. And I was like, hey, we're going on the Bliss Cruise. And she said, what is that? And you can't explain what it is until you get there. So did Lillian try to explain to you what it was? Or did she just kind of say, you'll see when you get there?
She explained it. She explained it as, I had never even really heard the term lifestyle before, as it is subscribed to swinging and free love, open connection, open relating. And so she did explain it to me. She said for about like 10 minutes, honestly, she was like, it's a cruise where it's like lifestyle people and couples and women. And we have workshops and we have pools and saunas, and I was like, wow, that sounds cool, great. And then she was like, also, do you want to come? And I'm like, yes.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
On the cruise, you get to do and be anything you want to do and be. There's no judgment. Did you feel that from the very first day?
For sure. Yeah. It was definitely like what I've experienced at Burning Man events over the last decade. For anybody who's not familiar, it's that big thing in the desert that happens, and they run by this communal principles of radical expression, community, helping each other out. And so I sort of always operate from that space all of the time. So to come into the cruise, I felt that right away. There are some differences that caused me to like recalibrate a little bit in terms of like people, for example, are very affectionate, kissing on the face and like on the cheek or like things like that. And that's just maybe not what I was used to per se. And it's not that it was a bad thing. It's always very well-meaning and welcoming.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it is to be comforting and welcoming. And I also love that there isn't this intention of being sexual. I feel that the cruise was so lovely because the intention is to just connect. And if things unravel naturally or organically, then they do, but it's not like everybody comes in with this, intention of that. I didn't feel that, at least. I felt that there was a sense of loving connection between people.
Absolutely. And I agree. And there are a lot of people who are not participants of the lifestyle on the cruise. They're in a monogamous relationship, but they love the freedom they have. They love the acceptance that they get from the community on the Bliss Cruise. And they keep coming back year after year because you can't find this type of environment, this openness, this freedom, this ability to be whatever you want to be on normal vacations.
For sure, yeah. Especially because not only that, but the opportunities to learn about sexuality, like workshops like yours, for example, Pleasuring the Pearl. I thought that was so incredible that you were teaching people the techniques to really fully drop into their pleasure and embody like orgasm and joy and bliss. And you don't need to be a swinger to experience these workshops.
Yeah, and there are a lot of workshops. I got the pleasure of teaching 4 play shops on this cruise and 1 open workshop. And then this next cruise in November, hopefully last November, I taught a lot more because it's a longer cruise. This was kind of a shorter cruise. I also felt like once we really got the understanding of where everything was and, I was getting my groove, everything stopped. And I was like, it's the last day. Can we keep going?
I felt the same. Like I said, it took me a few days to really like ground and get centered and comfortable. And then the last 2 days, it was like all out. And I love that, I'm 30, I'm younger. I'm probably one of the more younger people on the cruise. So it was very much like a festival to me where you have to get the lay of the land and the map, but it's incredible because there's showers, there's beds, there's hot tubs, there's saunas, there's pools. Like, actually, I don't know if there was a sauna. Don't quote me on that, but
there is there is a sauna. Yes, there was. It's in the spa area.
Yeah, for sure. So, and then there's no sunburn, there's no bug bites. There's an all-you-can-eat buffet with the most incredible food and every food option you can think of, like 24 hours a day. It was just, Bliss Cruise is like the perfect name for the overall vibe of the trip.
It is blissful. Now, talk to me about the theme nights, because I know that those are just the fun, the cherry on top, I should say, of all of the exciting things that happen. But what were your thoughts on the theme nights? And tell me how you dressed up and played into those.
The theme nights were probably one of my favorite parts of the cruise experience. I just love dressing up and I love being playful in that way. And I love not like putting on a character, but like putting on, it allows me to like embody more of the playfulness and the themes of the night. And as a result, like connect a little bit deeper, not to mention when you're all in costumes, it gives you something to connect on and feel in common with everybody. Even though we're all there with similar mindsets and connections, it's very cool to just really admire everybody's like artistry or comfortability in being super sexy or not in costume. And there was one every night, and they were, like I said, my favorite parts. I think, what was your last question? Like, how did I? Yeah.
How did you dress? Like, how did you prepare for the theme nights?
That's a great question. So Lillian, who, as I mentioned, is CEO of Swinging, has also been in the lifestyle for as long as I've been alive. So she's been in the lifestyle 30 years, and she has costumes on costumes on costumes that she's accumulated over going to lifestyle events for, like I said, 3 decades. So when I arrived in Florida prior to the cruise, we visited her storage unit, which she claims that used to be 3 times bigger, and I believe her, but she makes her own costumes and had all of these outfits that I was able to borrow that were incredible. So, for example, Renaissance, like medieval night, we wore this gold chain link top with golden shorts, and I put fur on these boots that I brought, and it was very much Game of Thrones vibes, which was really fun. I mean, I do have my own costumes that I brought. Like Cowgirl Night was really fun, where it was pretty easy. You just throw on a cowboy hat and like Daisy Duke shorts, and things like that. So it was really fun for me to bring my own costume things, and then to collaborate with another person or collaborate with friends. It adds an extra element of like excitement and community to like play dress up and like play with your friends, you know?
I go to a lot of lifestyle events, and I shouldn't say all of them, but 99% of them have themes. And so I legitimately have a costume closet now. And I'm a former theater teacher, so this is nothing new. I had costumes forever because, hell, I've just always, when I would move classrooms, it would take a U-Haul truck because literally I was moving costumes and just all set pieces and all kinds of stuff. But when I left the classroom, I thought, I'm never going to need them again, and I got rid of them. Well, here, lo and behold, I have an entire closet now, and it's a huge closet dedicated to just costumes because you never know. And I love the fact that every theme or every cruise they have new themes and they have different ones, but you can piece and put together. So for listeners out there who are thinking about going on the Bliss Cruise, you don't have to spend a whole lot of money on your costumes. You don't have to come up with these elaborate montages that, will just knock everybody out. You do what's comfortable for you. And talk to me about some of the things that you saw, because there were some extreme costumes, and then there were some costumes that were just, looks just kind of modest, but still fun. And so kind of walk me through what you saw when it came to the variety of costumes.
It was exactly as you were describing. There was a variety of people who very much like put a lot of like intentionality into their costume. Perhaps, like you said, they have a costume closet but even for those who don't, like, it's pretty easy to just put on something. For example, glow night. It was one of my favorite nights. It was the night that I went out the most dressed up. I wore like a Brazilian carnival girl, like showgirl outfit, and I put lights on it, and then I lit up the outfit. So that's like the extreme end. And then the other end of it is people, who just have like a regular shirt on that has some like zigzags on it, or they just had like glow sticks that they were wearing, something really simple. A lot of my costumes and things I get at the thrift store. Like, it doesn't really need to be anything elaborate, especially in a space where it's so judgment free. It really doesn't matter what you wear, because as long as you're there, you're going to have a good time. Absolutely.
And I agree. Goodwill or thrift stores, secondhand shops, all of that. That's where I get 98%. Amazon comes in in the clutch, but
boots, for example, I got on Amazon and I got like pink shiny ones to match like my pink wig, and little simple things like that, things maybe that you already have around the house that you can, or like even necklaces that you feel like might be on theme. But I'm a big advocate for thrifting and just winging it. And no matter what, like, nobody cares if you're in costume or not, really, but it just adds a more playful energy to embody that.
So, did you play while you were on the ship?
I did. Like I said, the first few days was like gauging the lay of the land and getting comfortable, and then the last 2 days was wringing out that juicy sponge that I I am. I feel like I went into like going on the ship was almost like a rabbit hole, but in the best way. And it's been a few weeks and I still feel like I'm coming out of the rabbit hole, but I'm not sure that I ever will.
Yeah.
Like, because because of the, you know, amazing experiences and connections that I made platonically, romantically, sexually, and friends that I feel like I've made for life, you know, like that's what I love the most. Is some of the interviews that I did, a lot of people were monogamous, a lot of people didn't participate, a lot of people spoke about just the ability to make lifelong friends. And yeah, so yes, I did play with these friends.
Love it. So talk to me about what your thoughts were about the play spaces, because those, when you go on Bliss Cruise, we have dedicated play spaces. We have places where you can have sex in the solarium, kind of in the open. We have a playroom. We have a dungeon. Of course, you can go and have sex in your room. But some people think that you're just going to walk on the ship and there's going to be naked people everywhere and sex happening. But it's not like that. We have dedicated play spaces. So talk to me about your experience with those.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I feel like I wanted to emphasize with people too who were asking me about the cruise. I feel like they get the impression that it's just people having sex left and right everywhere, and it's not like that at all. And to be honest, I was even a little worried that like it would just be people constantly hitting on me or something, you know, or coming in with that energy. And like I said, it's very much just a friendly community of people that are just happy to see you and happy to meet you. And as far as the designated sexual spaces, I'm really glad that they have those containers to do that, because then outside of the rooms, that's where you can connect with friends and connect platonically without feeling any sort of pressure to participate if you don't want to. So it's almost like if you want to participate, here's the spaces to do it. Here's the times to do it. I personally didn't go to the playrooms. I was there when they were setting up the solarium, which was a sight to see for sure. Just to walk you through a little bit of what that was like. The solarium is a pool area with like a glass dome top and hot tubs, and then they set up beds with curtains around them. If you want privacy, they set up beds with couches around them if you want an audience. And that was very cool to see. And I do know of a lot of people who went to the solarium for experiences, whether that's with like a lot of people or just with only their partner, but with other people. That's the great thing about it, is there's no pressure. You can kind of just do whatever you want when you want in specific spaces.
So there was the guided orgies. There was 2 guided orgies. Were you part of any of those?
No, I wasn't. I did see on the roster that there was 3, I think 3 all-female orgies, which piqued my interest. But just because I was also working hours of the cruise, sometimes it would conflict with my work obligations, so I didn't get a chance to participate. And so participating or considering an orgy is still on my bucket list. Can't say that I've participated. Not sure that I would, but an all-female one definitely sounds like something that I wouldn't be opposed to.
Yeah. I was working, I was teaching several classes, or I was seeing clients. I had the privilege of working with 199 clients in 5 days, or couples. Wow. So I was very busy on this ship, and I didn't get to participate much, but I knew that I would hear them announce, the group orgy is about to start. And I'm like, oh, okay. And, and I'm teaching, my classes are working, and that's fine. I don't go on that ship to play. I go to work and to help couples, and that's my role there. But yeah, there were some exciting areas that I wish I could have explored. And maybe one day in the future, if I go just for fun, I'll get to explore those. But it was definitely fun to see people trying new things. And so this whole ship is about playing into your fantasies and trying new things. Were there any new things that you tried?
Yeah, I tried. new things. There was so many firsts for me on this cruise overall. Like I said, I had never done a lifestyle event, never done a cruise, and I fully jumped in head first doing both. So that in of itself felt like a new, and not only that, but it's like 5 days, like can't escape. Here you are, live it and love it, you know? So, yeah, lots of new things. I think for me was the biggest thing was like my friend Lillian described it as setting play dates with people. So, and it's almost like she described it as when you're a little kid and you set up play dates with your friends, but instead of bringing your Game Boy or your Matchbox cars, you bring your sex toys. So I think a new experience for me was approaching friends that I made and saying, would you be interested in a play date with me? Which is something I've never done, but, yeah, so that was a new experience, and just having that confidence and having that comfort and willingness and connection with the people that I met to not only do that, but follow through and have a really good time was a new experience for me that I definitely still carry that confidence with me now.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, you I think it was the last day, walked around with your dildo and interviewed people. And I found you, or you found me in the casino. Yeah. You were like, hey, and shoved a dildo in my face, which I loved. I love that whole idea. I didn't know that this was your first time. I thought that you were, a pro, a veteran at this, because you just embraced it so much. So you walked around and interviewed several couples. What were some of the things that you were learning about the couples and their experiences throughout your interviews?
Sure. Yeah. So I want to preface this by saying that I have so many friends at home that were asking me what the cruise was like. And I wanted to find a fun way to capture, like, not only my experience, but other people's experiences, to show them it's not just a bunch of people fucking on a ship. Like, there is so much more to it. And that's why I love your interview, especially because it really sheds light on, like, the growth and the evolution and the knowledge that you get on these cruises outside of just the connotation that it's just like a free-for-all sex fest. Like, that's not true. It's a very healing, knowledgeable container that I really appreciate. So as far as interviewing people, I felt like it was a fun way, comedic way for me to learn what others' experiences were like. And I guess some of the things that I learned was a lot of people I interviewed were just monogamous couples, just there with their partner, and they enjoyed just connecting deeply with that partner in the workshops, or connecting deeply in the solarium, but only having sex with their partner, or that's what I got. A few of those, a few people like, this is our second or third cruise. We just come here to connect and learn. So that was cool. And then I had a few, dare I say, not grotesque, but a little more sexually charged interviews that were also fun. So I had like a wide spectrum of examples that I could show people.
I love that. Did it shock you that there were so many monogamous couples?
It wasn't a shock, but it was a surprise that the first few people I interviewed in the casino were monogamous couples. And yeah, it wasn't a shock, but it was a surprise. But I'm glad that they feel comfortable enough to come to this space and know that they're welcome in this space, and that there's like a no pressure to participate. There's really no expectation or pressure other than to just show up and have a good time.
I agree. And I love how you said for couples to grow together, because that's why I'm on the ship for two different reasons. I'm on the ship because so many people come onto these events that are unprepared. And so the first few days, they're balls to the wall, having fun, overstimulated. And then they sometimes they do things that are outside of the boundaries that they've kind of talked about with their partner. And then they get angry with each other, or there's some sort of argument or disgruntlement. And people spend a lot of money to go on these cruises. They spend money for costumes. They spend money for, of course, traveling, all of that. Just, it's a lot of money. And so Bliss Cruise, one of the roles that I fulfill is when the couples are having any sort of issues, I can step in and say, okay, guys, let's kind of work through this. Let's kind of, even out our emotions. I put a Band-Aid on it because there's not a whole lot you can do on the ship, but I put a Band-Aid on it. I kind of fix things and I get them back to the fun. Bliss wants everybody to have fun. The second thing that I do is I get to share in all of my knowledge from all of the years of training that I have and do play shops and workshops. And so many couples come on there just to reconnect or just to learn more about their partners. And I can't tell you how many times people will tell me, we have great sex. We don't need this class. We have great sex. And then after the class, they're like, wow, I didn't even know that existed. And so it's a chance and an opportunity to learn more about yourself, your body, and what your new sensations and new pleasure points are for you as well. So I guess from that standpoint, it is such an educational experience sexually, but as well as just you grow personally because there's so much to take in. I personally believe one cruise is not enough. Are you coming back?
I would like to. I liked the opportunity to work it. I really liked being on the other side and having this balance between work and play. Any event that I go to, I very much am like volunteering at it or taking on some sort of leadership role. And so as much as, I would love to come back if I have an opportunity to, like similar to you, have fun and playtime, but also be there as a liaison or a help or a guide for other people. That would make it a little bit more rewarding for me personally. But I do look forward to that opportunity if it does come to me again.
Wonderful. So as we wrap up with you, tell me, is there anything or not anything, what do you want people who are even considering taking a lifestyle cruise or going to a lifestyle event? And, from your perspective, being a newbie and the very first time you've ever done this, what do you want them to know and how can you help them calm their nerves?
Good question. I want them to know that it's a safe space. It's really fun. It's very enlightening and educational and comfortable. And any nerves that come about, at least for me, I just knew were just fears and anxieties I was projecting that were not the reality of what I was experiencing, but not knowing the reality creates dissonance or you don't get the clear picture until you're there. So my advice is to just go. Mm-hmm. It's a great time no matter what, and drop into it as fully as you feel called. And there's support there like yours. If anybody has questions or issues, there's support there, there's help there, there's staff, there's hostesses, there's directors, there's people walking around who are always there to help you. So if at any point you feel anxious or uncomfortable, there's always going to be a place to connect and feel safe and come back to yourself and come back to your partner and, kind of extend that sense of safety and connection between yourself and with other people. And no matter what, it's going to be a great time.
It is. It's going to be a great time. Well, I appreciate you taking some time to speak with us. And I look forward to hopefully seeing you on future trips. And I kind of, excited about watching your growth because we are friends now on Instagram. And so you have all of your interviews posted. Would you mind giving out your Instagram so people can see your interviews?
My Instagram is Embodied with Bree. And if you check out my Instagram page, there's on the highlights, it says Bliss Cruise. And it's really a great montage of my little experiences and my journey down this rabbit hole. For example, it even stopped in Jamaica for a day on 420, which was wild. And so you can see not only the cruise, but outside of the cruise, the amazing destinations that we went on, the excursions that are available. For example, we went to like this blue hole swimming, jumped off a waterfall. Like that in of itself made it worth it. Just the amazing destinations we go to. And the cruise is so good about like connecting people with those excursions and those experiences. And then not only that, but you can see my experience as well as the plethora of experiences from all different kinds of people that were there.
I love that. Thank you again. And so again, thank you for sharing your experience. We're going to take a quick break and we're going to come back with another couple who were newbies on the ship, and we're going to find out about their experience. So stay tuned. Not quite ready for sex therapy, but you still have questions about sex, relationships, and intimacy? Join me on the first Thursday of every month at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time on sdc.com for a free question and answer session where I answer all of your questions about your specific intimacy needs. If you're not part of the SDC community, no worries, we've got your back. Go to our website, evolveyourintimacy.com, click on the Fun tab, go to the dating sites, and join SDC for free. I look forward to seeing you and your partner at the next live question and answer with Dr. Stephanie on SDC.com. All right, and we are back. This is Stephanie from the Evolve Your Intimacy podcast, and I am joined now by Sarah. And Sarah has had her first experience on the Bliss Cruise, and she and her partner Carlos came on the Bliss Cruise, and she said it was her first cruise ever, and she chose to do the Bliss Cruise. Sarah, welcome, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So tell us just a little bit about your relationship dynamics with Carlos. Are you guys monogamous? Are you non-monogamous? Kind of give us some insight.
Okay, so we're monogamous. We've been together for 4 years. We met while we were in the military. So after we both retired, we decided to start trying new things in our relationship. We first experimented with swinging. We went to a couple swinging clubs, a couple of outings. Didn't really feel like that was our thing. So we've been into BDSM mostly lately. So that's where we are in our relationship. But I've only been monogamous with him for the past 4 years. So.
Okay. And so how did you guys find the Bliss Cruise? Talk to me about that process.
So I Googled cruises, and I wanted to do something different because he's been on a couple of cruises before. So I told him I don't want to do nothing like he's done with his ex in the past or anyone I didn't want to do anything he's done before with anyone. Okay. So I wanted to try something new, and I saw the Bliss Cruise, and I was like, this would be something new for both of us, and we tried it.
Awesome. So you went on the Bliss Cruise website, you booked, and you saw that there was theme nights, and you saw that there was all this fun stuff. When you got to the port and you were getting on the cruise, talk to me about what you thought, what you saw, kind of how was that experience coming on the cruise?
Coming on the cruise was, it was exciting. I saw a whole bunch of different people, different ages, different ethnicity. I don't know how to say it.
Ethnicity, yeah.
There you go. When we first walked on, it was crazy because we saw a lady. She was dressed like in this black leather thing. It was like I guess it was like a BDSM like outfit, her and a man. And then we saw the ambassadors. I forgot their name.
Lily.
But they looked very friendly. We were told to go to a certain spot where we were supposed to meet and get our briefing. That's when it got kind of confusing, though, because we didn't know where our room was. So we had to look for our room, and we were so confused. And that's the only part that, it kind of started off kind of bad because we didn't know where our room was. But up until that point, everything was nice.
Okay. That can get kind of confusing because, they are still cleaning the rooms from the previous cruise, but we want to get you guys on so you can start drinking and having some fun and because the ship is so big, finding your room for the first time can be overwhelming.
Look for your room and start to mingle. So it was organized. Yeah.
Good. So you have found your room, you've done your safety briefing, you've seen Vulcan and Phoenix, who were the couple that was dressed in their BDSM gear. They're the ones, one of the host couples for the dungeon. You met our ambassadors,
Okay.
Lily, and her husband, and they are just cheerful all the time. She has that energy going all the time. And talk to me about how it was when you finally started getting to mingle.
Both me and my man were both introverts. So it was kind of difficult for us because, like I said, this is our first swingers cruise, not our first swingers event, but with such a large crowd of people, we didn't really know where to start. Of course, they gave us like a flyer each day so we can see the meet and greets and, the different events that were going on. So, we attended a few meet and greets, introduced ourselves to a few people, and that's how we started things. We had to try to come out of our shell because we're like I said, we're both kind of quiet people. So I wanted to, try to get out of our comfort zone and, meet people. So we met a few, and, it was cool.
How did you prepare for the theme nights?
In advance, I looked on the website and I saw the different theme nights. Let's see, the glow night. We really enjoyed that one. The one that was outside by the pool.
That one's fun. That was fun.
Tie-dye one. That was good. I think that was the last one. That was okay. We didn't stay for the whole thing, but we basically prepared in advance by looking on the site, and we had our outfits, our little gear, whatever. So we were ready.
I heard you say several times now you stayed in your room. Did you guys stay in your room a lot?
No, not really. We went out and we sat by the pool. Of course, we got off the ship when, we went to Jamaica, and what's the other place called?
Grand Cayman.
Yeah, when we went there. So we got off the ship for that. But other than that, we stayed at the pool. No, we weren't in the room the whole time,
By the pool. The pool is always interesting and it's always popping. There's always something to see and always something different. Tell me about y'all's experience by the pool.
The first day, it was car wash.
Oh, yeah.
Women took off their tops. Yeah, exactly. My man, he's not really he didn't want to get naked. So I'm okay with getting naked in front of people. So I took my top off and, I went to the line and I was doing, the little shimmy on the men. That was fun, because, that's what I enjoyed, touching other people. It was about me being able to do what I wanted to do to them and them not really being able to. But some people were still feeling up on me, but it was supposed to be just the women have, it was also like different little games they had, that was fun as well. By the pool, it was a lot, people were naked, that's, I love that because people were able to just be free, it's like, it was so non-judgmental, it's like you saw people of every shape, like I said, every age, and like no one cared. Like everyone was just like, I'm here and you can look if you want, I don't care, so it was fun. So
I'm glad you said that because people have this impression that swinger cruises, all we're doing is standing around, everybody's fucking, everybody's being grabby, handsy, and touchy, and we're judging each other because we're naked. But like you said, there's no judgment and there's every body type imaginable. So did you expect that coming on the ship to see that?
Yeah, I knew naked, seeing naked bodies. As far as like you said, the fucking, I don't know. I thought it was going to be people fucking, like you said, everywhere. Yeah. I honestly thought that, but it wasn't. It was done in a way that if you didn't want to see people having sex, you just didn't have to go there. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I like that as well because the playrooms were fun. We went to the playroom and we had sex together in what was the playroom that was near the pool? I forgot the name of it.
The solarium. It's the solarium.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
We didn't interact with no one else, but it was cool to walk and look at other people. It was a lot of, nice things to look at. We gave people nice things to look at, and, that was fun. Yeah.
So when you say you gave people nice things to look at, I am assuming, and you correct me if I'm wrong, you went to the solarium to one of the beds and you had sex with your husband and you left the curtains open so people could walk by and watch.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you, the staff, I want to say first off, the staff was great because we found the spot and honestly, looked like someone squirted all over and it was a big old wet spot. So I did not want to get on there. I found a woman and she came, she ran over there. She switched out the sheet for me. She gave me a towel and she didn't even really say anything. She just left. And it was like, okay, and then when we were done, a guy came right behind us and he moved the sheet for us, professional. It was really cool. They already knew what to do. They just was and they weren't standing there looking at us, to see, okay, let me go switch it out. It was as soon as we got up, it was someone came out of nowhere,
Yeah.
moved it. So, yeah.
The Bliss Cruise has amazing staff, and those are host couples that are in the lifestyle who some of them have been on the ship previously as guests and fell in love with it, and now they work for Bliss. But yes, those couples, they have different areas assigned to them, and they work those areas for a certain amount of time a day. And yeah, as soon as you get up, they want to make sure that you're having the best, cleanest, sanitary experience. And so that's their job, is to clean up for you and clean up after you and make sure that your experience is beautiful and you don't have to worry about anything when you get on the ship.
It was a little distracting. So I wasn't able to really finish. We did what we did and got up because it was a lot going on. And it was really hot because it was outside. So we were both drenched in sweat, and it was people were having a good time. It looked like nice things going on with other people. But for me, it was distracting at one point. And I just kind of was I would look up and I was making eye contact with someone. And then and then I'd close my eyes. Then I'd look up, it was another person I was making eye contact with. So that was kind of throwing me off, but.
Did you go back to the room and come like you needed to?
Oh yeah, we went back to the room and it was awesome. He said he felt like I was ready, so I guess turned on by what was going on down there, but I just couldn't finish it. And we just went back to the room and we had a good time.
Wonderful. Tell me a little bit about the entertainment. How did you like that?
Unfortunately, we didn't go to the comedy show, but I heard it was awesome. What was his name? Rob
Lowe.
Before we went on the cruise, he a message on Facebook asking people, women, if they wanted to send some pictures in. I sent a picture of me in a little cat suit. He was going to edit himself in there, some kind of funny way. And he did. And it was a cute little funny way. Even though we were on the cruise, we did go to sleep kind of early, a couple of nights, and we missed it. So
there is so much to do on the cruise. There's so much to see. And sometimes it's overstimulating, especially the first few days. When you were walking around and you were looking at, all of the great things happening, there was workshops, we had meet and greets, we had play shops. Did you participate in any of the play shops or workshops?
I know it's a vacation and I expect to spend money, and you have to spend money to get knowledge sometimes, but I was not expecting to spend money on the workshops. So we didn't attend the workshops, but we didn't pay to attend any of them because we didn't put that in our budget to pay for all those workshops.
And that is true. I hosted 4 of them, and so mine were a pay to play workshop.
Newbie swinger one. I don't know. It was a couple of them that I wanted to attend that we didn't. Just
the newbie 101.
Yeah.
That was free.
I should have just paid. Oh, it was? Okay.
There was only there a handful of them were paid, and there was a lot of them that were free. You just had to kind of every day when you got your guide for the day, it would tell you which one was free and which ones were paid. So just for future knowledge, there are a lot of free ones all throughout the day.
But I also wanted to speak about the gym was nice because we like to work out. So he went to the gym every day. It was a nice gym. The spa, we went and looked at the spa and it looked like a nice setup. We didn't get anything. We were going to get the couples massage, which I regret not getting. We should have. And the casino was a lot of fun. It was a good casino. So those were some nice things for us to do as well.
So tell me about the food on the ship. How did you like that?
So much different options for us to choose from. And the meals were great. It was like the staff, once again, was awesome because they kept everything clean. As soon as you got up, someone came and, cleaned off your spot. It was temperature, the food wise, it wasn't like, any cold steaks or nothing, it was good, and it was, a lot of options, and you got to sit outside if you wanted to. It was nice sitting. We sat outside, the first few times because, it was beautiful scenery. So, and it was huge. The eating area was huge and beautiful. It was nice. Honestly, the portions were kind of small. I don't know if we were able to ask for more.
You were.
They gave us like small portions.
They do. Okay. They do give you small portions because they're trying to reduce the food waste, because people would order and then they wouldn't eat it. So they give you smaller portions, but you can order as much as you want of it.
Oh, okay. We didn't know that. We ate the smaller portion and we sat there for a little bit. We talked, kind of did some people watching, and then we left. One
of the things I love about that dining room is there are times that they sit you with other couples and they sit you with other parties so you can mingle and meet people. Did you sit by yourselves or did you sit with other people?
We sat by ourselves. That would have been nice. That probably would have helped us meet people as well. Because our goal was to at least introduce ourselves to 3 couples a night. And we did that. We did well. But that would have been cool because that would have gave us the opportunity to kind of meet people that we weren't really targeting to meet, because we kind of, the people we met were people we were kind of, not saying attracted to, but seemed like we had stuff in common with, so sure. We kind of was drawn to the people who, okay, let's go talk to them because they look like, they might be approachable. But if they had sat us with people we didn't know, that probably would have been fun. So our next one will probably have to just be more prepared. I guess this one we didn't know what to really do. So, it was, So next time, if we go on another one, we will look into the pamphlet more and we'll, go to the spots where we would feel more comfortable because not saying we weren't comfortable, but one of them, I think they were playing 70s and 80s music or something, and we just kind of was not feeling that. So, but if we knew it was a reggae spot or a hip hop spot, we probably would have went to that spot, but we didn't see it.
Yeah. Yeah. So the takeaway is make sure you read the itinerary that they provide every day because there's so much to do. It's so much. And so I'm glad you had fun and you got to experience something new. I will tell you, if you ever go on another cruise, you'll wish that you were on the Bliss Cruise again. You'll be like, man, I want to be topless. Well, all these people have bathing suits on. Or, these people, and you're like, oh, well, we're just judgy, Met Judgerson. I don't know. On vanilla cruises, I will never do another vanilla cruise. So you may see topless and you may see nude by the pool, but you won't see sex by the pool. You have to go into the sex areas. If anybody doesn't, they don't want that, they don't want to watch or be watched, great, go back to your room and have fun there. Or if you want to watch, go into the areas, the spaces that they are. So it's just a fun environment for you to be able to be you and go and do whatever your comfort level allows. Yeah.
And we went to a few meet and greets, but it was kind of a couple of them we had more fun at because they were hosted, I guess.
Yes.
The ones that weren't hosted were kind of harder for us to mingle. So, okay.
So we'll have to just get better about telling people about that. That's why I do this, because I want people to know the good, the bad, the ugly. And I want to know how we can improve as well, because I do work for Bliss. I am one of, like I said, the educators that get to come on, but I'm also a professional counselor that helps people because, if we have anything that happens, we want you to have fun and we want you to get back to the fun as quickly as possible. And so overall, as we're wrapping up with this, tell my listeners what's one thing that you really want them to know about the Bliss Cruise, and if and when they book, what's some advice that you want to give them?
One thing that I want them to know is get out your comfort zone and be ready to approach people, be approached. Don't just mingle with whoever you came with. I think it would be a lot of fun if you meet people and, just kind of like explore everything. Don't stay in your room. Don't stay in one area. Don't just go to the same area every night. It's a lot to explore on there. It is a very big ship. So it's, a lot of areas where you can meet people. It's okay to ask people things and, just approach people,
Mm-hmm. Get out of your comfort zone and have some fun.
Yeah, get out of your comfort zone. Yeah.
I love that.
And then also I want to say Malcolm, I loved him. He seemed like a great man.
Malcolm is the host.
I don't know. I just wanted to give him a shout out too. Malcolm was awesome. So.
Did you see him sleeping in random places?
Was he really sleeping? Because cafeteria place, he looked like he was actually sleeping.
He was knocked out.
I was like, no way. Like, people were coming up, laying next to him, taking pictures and writing stuff on him. And I'm like, I know he can't still be sleeping. He didn't open his eyes one time. So
he was knocked out.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for those listening, Malcolm is the director of the master of ceremonies, so to speak, and he is a character, and he keeps it lively on the ship. So you can find him one day they moved his entire bedroom, set up and all, into the cafeteria. And so when you went in for breakfast, there he was sleeping, and you can take pictures with him, and he's absolutely knocked out asleep. When we go to port, he was wearing his house coat and his towel on his head, and he was having breakfast with you by the side when you left for port. And so you never know where you're going to find Malcolm or what he's going to be wearing, but he is a hoot, and he is definitely an asset to the Bliss Cruise.
Yeah, and he's very approachable. He's not like, I've never been on a cruise, but he's not like, like someone just walking around making sure everybody's doing what they need to be doing. He's like, he'll talk to you and just, he seemed like a very fun person.
Yeah, he's great. Well, thank you for taking some time to talk to us and to share your experience with my listeners. And I look forward to seeing you again, hopefully on another Bliss Cruise or another cruise line. If you ever have any questions, all you have to do is just email me, and I'm here for you. Thank you for taking time out of your busy day to listen to my show. I am Dr. Stephanie with Evolve Your Intimacy, and remember, you are not in this alone, and we are definitely here to help. You can learn more about all the amazing things that we do at evolveyourintimacy.com, and if you subscribe to our newsletter, you'll receive free resources monthly to help you evolve your intimacy. Thank you again, and have a great night.